And what a day it is here from Lac de Medine here in France.
It's been spectacular. From this morning, the torrential rain and winds and horrible conditions to an incredible, wonderful prize giving and some new awesome champions that we've got.
Yeah, it's been an incredible day. It really has. I mean, getting up this morning and seeing, just putting back the curtains and looking and just seeing the trees swaying and the wind blowing. Oh, goodness me. I have to say, as an event organizer, it was a huge relief to know that everybody was already back ashore safe and sound. And that was a major part. Just to have had the thought of having to go out and be bringing everybody back. To be frank, the prize giving would still not have taken place, even as we speak now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we were driving around this afternoon, checking everything out, I mean, trees had fallen over, and I think that's one of the crucial points as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've literally been around the entire lake on the shore, and there have been trees literally that have fallen over the tracks. And it was quite interesting. At one point, the wind dropped, and the wind was turning right the way around during the course of today, and you could see it. It went really, really calm, and then in no time at all, the lake went from being actually really quite flat to being huge waves. I mean, huge waves crashing on the shore, and it was anyway. Good to be back. Good to be back under the roof that we're in at the moment. And
tough decision, but ultimately the right decision.
Anyway, look, fantastic prize giving, and really pleased that so many people stayed. And we completely understand that people were keen to get home and everything else. But nevertheless, it was good that the those that stayed really celebrated well and really were there for the champions and the prize winners of this year's event.
Yeah, I mean, they did really, really well. Everyone fished tremendously, and it wasn't kind of easy conditions this week. It really put the anglers to the test.
Anyway, look, now what's exciting is we're about to enter a new chapter in the World Carp Classic. This is the 27th year of the World Carp Classic. And we've been to France, we've been to Lac d'Orient, we've been to Lac de Medine, we've been to Lac Amont. We've been to Lake Bolsena in Italy, we've been to Lake Novolinska in the Czech Republic. And now, new frontiers, really exciting new frontiers, which are quite appropriate because we're sitting here with our warm tops on. It's been lashing down with rain. It's been cold today. And we're going to Spain. We're going to a phenomenal venue, Lake Oriana. It really is a fantastic venue, completely and utterly different from any other lake that has ever been used for the World Carp Classic so far.
Absolutely. I mean, it is a stunning lake, and I can't wait to show you more pictures of it. We've got an incredible trailer coming up. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but I've said it now. And some epic carp as well. I mean, it's just full to the brim of some just huge carp.
Well, look, I mean, rather than actually just hear it from us, I think, whereas I think it's important to have respected anglers that know about carp fishing in Oriana, and have been there, have got the t-shirt, have caught the carp, and know about the lake. So it's with great pleasure this evening that we can introduce Samir.
Absolutely. Welcome, Samir.
Hi, guys. Greetings from a very sunny and very warm Spain. How you doing?
Yeah, well, look, I'm looking at you sat there in your t-shirt and everything, looking nicely suntanned, and us, we're blooming freezing here at the moment. And I think there's a stark difference between the two at the moment. So hashtag jealous.
Absolutely. To be honest, we've been looking at the weather at Medina. I've been thinking, Christ, could do with just a little bit of that here because it's been almost 30 degrees today, flat calm, but we've got a little bit of wind this evening, so we're hoping that's going to step the fishing up a bit. We've had quite a few fish actually this week, until 24 kilos. So fishing's been great despite the temperatures and the high pressures. But yeah, looking forward to welcoming you guys and the event to Oriana here in Extremadura, Spain.
Well, I think the thing is, I mean, as I mentioned just previously, it is such a different venue to the venues that have been fished previously. What do you think? How would you describe Oriana, and what is awaiting the next adventure of the World Carp Classic in Spain?
I think for most people who fish in sort of Central and Eastern Europe, it's going to be a very, very different experience. Like the terrain is very harsh, very rugged. You know, it has a real edgy feel to it, and a kind of a taste of the unknown. Like almost every couple of years, there's a new fish that gets caught that's around 30 kilos that someone hasn't seen or caught before. And I think that's kind of some of the attraction for me personally about Oriana is that sort of bit of the unknown. Although we do have a hell of a lot of known 30-kilo carp here too, the lake is pretty brimming with fish, to be honest. There are probably possibly millions of carp in here. The lake is 37 kilometers long for a start, so it's certainly very, very different to Lac Medine. And I actually think this will actually improve the World Carp Classic because Oriana can be unpredictable where the carp will be every year. You can never ever place a bet like, oh, I caught them in this area last year. They're definitely going to be here again the following year. The fish move around a lot. Some areas are fantastic some years and quite poor the other years. So I think with the competition coming to Oriana, it's almost anyone's game. And it's not so much relying on the peg draw to be in those sort of traditionally traditional spots that produce a lot of carp, like in Medine. Like it really is anyone's game here.
Yeah, I think the thing is, it's the vastness, and what I love when I came to Oriana was, as you say, it's that the unpredictability. It's like enormous. It's absolutely huge, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's the mountains and the valleys and the water quality, the air. I know that sounds a bit melodramatic, but even the air, it's some of the purest air in Europe.
Well, the water quality in Oriana is actually rated the top because we have two beaches here, or three beaches actually. It's actually the cleanest beaches in Spain, has the cleanest water in Spain. Like in the lower half of the lake, it's often crystal clear and you can see like up to 4 meters, 5 meters deep. This year, there hasn't been much weed, which will probably be welcome to some of the participants from Medine this year because there was a hell of a lot of weed. But you know, the lake is unpredictable, but there'll be certain areas that will produce ridiculous amounts of carp, and there'll be other areas that'll be a bit more tricky. But I do think that the participants will have more opportunity to catch fish at Oriana than Lac Medine. You know, as I said, the fish are spread out pretty wide, even in October still. You know, and I think it's going to make a really interesting competition. And you know, even at the beginning, you won't be able to call which zone will produce the winner. It really will be anyone's chance. You know.
Well, interestingly enough, at Medine this year, there were out of the 106 teams, I think 33 that caught.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So in terms of the teams in Oriana, I mean in terms of catching carp, I mean, do you think the percentages would be higher than that,
Yeah, I think it will be higher. I think it will be higher. But a lot of it's also going to depend how people approach the water. You know, Spain is very, very different compared to fishing in France, Germany, Italy. Um, I know a lot of guys like to feed a lot of bait. Certainly in France, I like to do it myself. But in Spain, you can actually be worked negatively, especially in a competition where is it your top three captures that are the registered?
yeah,
Is that what it is? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
So
the top three.
absolutely. So you find when you feed a lot in Spain, you can be very busy catching a lot of fish. But if you want to try and target the bigger ones, you need to be quite sparing with the bait, you know, and really take the time to find those small spots within a larger area. But I certainly think we'll see some giants caught throughout the tournament, and I'm sure people are going to absolutely love it here. It really is unique. The sun rises, the sun sets, the mist rolling off the lake in the morning, and it really, really is a completely different experience to fishing in
Oh my
France.
goodness me! I tell you what, Sammy,
I'm
you're
inspired.
making me like, oh god, I can't wait to be there for the legacy
It's
event.
that incredible. I moved here, and it was never my intention to live here as well. So, you know, for my first trip here, my first carp was like 28 kilos, and from that moment on, I just wanted to live here, and I did. I moved my entire family 50 meters from the lake. So, yeah, it's an incredible place. I'm sure everybody's going to really enjoy it, and the carp are really, really special as well. I don't think there's anything that beats the Spanish mirrors. They really, really are unique. You know, they have really, really big frames, you know, big lips. and quite unique scale patterns as well. And the colours are just absolutely stunning. You know, you find in France we end up with a lot of kind of like grey or light coloured fish. Well, in Spain, they're all pretty dark. They've all got real like nice chocolatey tones to them, a tinge of pink through the bottom where they eat so much crayfish. But for me, the mirrors here in Spain are some of the best in the world, if not the best.
Well, we've got one that Ardy caught. Just bringing
Yeah,
that one up. And look, that I think is a really good example of literally what you've just
yeah,
described.
incredible carp.
Yeah, and the
Incredible
colour.
carp. I photographed that one at Christmas for him. It was an absolute stunner, a real jewel of the lake. It's not one I've actually seen before. And that's the thing, there are just so many fish in this lake. You know, you never really know what you're going to catch. For me, this one is actually quite sparsely scaled. In Oriana, most of the fish are heavily plated or linears with real mad, sort of erratic and odd scale patterns, which really make those carp unique and adds to the attraction, you know. But this is an absolutely incredible fish, and it's a real pleasure to photograph it for our friend Ardy.
Absolutely. Well, look, let's have a look at a few of the other carp in Oriana, and I think this is an image that I think you might have taken yourself, Samir. So
Yes, that's it, mate.
talk us through that
That's
one.
one or two carp.
That's actually not that many. So I've actually got some images from a drone where there are literally thousands of carp on on the surface in a bay, and they're stacked. They're not just on the surface; they're stacked like 5, 6 layers deep. Literally thousands of carp, and it can be like that at times. I think in October it's probably going to be more the case that the fish are spread out everywhere. But this is kind of like your typical spring scenario. You find the fish tucked up in a few bays by the thousands, you know, which can make it quite tricky to get on them, especially if the lake's busy, which it never really feels that busy because it's just so big, being 37 kilometers long. But I think in the autumn we're going to see the fish spread out a lot more. Depending on the water temperatures, we're going to be able to catch them from somewhere around 25 meters deep to a meter, which is absolutely insane. I don't think I've ever fished a lake where it's actually possible to catch a fish in a meter in the daytime and catch a fish in 20 plus in the nighttime. It's absolutely bizarre. But like I said, it's a part of the uniqueness that is the big attraction for me here. And it is a big challenge, you know, like you're going to get out what you put in. If you're lazy and not reactive, you know, you can expect to not do that well. You need to be up early in the mornings, like watching where the fish show, and you need to be moving your baits and placing them on the spots where the fish are jumping, irrespective of depth. Like, I think a lot of people are scared to go drop like a bait in like 15 meters plus, but here it's not the case. If the fish are jumping on the spot, get a bait on it, and I guarantee you, you'll be catching within an hour. Oh, have we crashed? No, hello? Right, I can see you guys. Do I need to reconnect? Hello? Hello?